Yo, what's going on, guys? First thing I want to say, this is my off-season predictions. One of the last teams we're doing, because we've done all 27 other teams, so go check those out. But I want to know, someone commented that they rather have pictures and background music than just random highlights from this past season and playoffs. Tell me what you guys rather have, highlights or just pictures pertaining to the people we're talking about with the background music. Now, let me hear your thoughts. What do you guys want to see the Denver Nuggets do this offseason? And let's get right into it. They currently have themselves the 37th and the 40th pick in this year's draft. And what they're able to do, as they're going to have this year Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Contavious Caldwell-Pope under contract. Bruce Brown has a player option, but he wants to stay. I expect him to come back, so we're just going to include Bruce Brown being back in the fold. I don't think people are supposedly going to offer him $12.8 million, which is the non-taxpayer level, mid-level exception. And he says he wants to stay. I expect he stays. Zeke Nnaji, Christian Brown, Payne Watson, Vlatko Cancar, Colin Gillespie, and Jack White are two guys who are two ways. They're probably going to come back. They're restricted free agents, at least for training camp. So expect those guys to be back. Look, this team won the championship. Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, Thomas Bryant, Reggie Jackson, Ish Smith are all unrestricted free agents. Only guy I could see coming back, Jeff Green. With the 37th and the 40th pick, I think it's a bit interesting to think of who they could go out and get, but I think they're going to go out and get the best NBA ready players. And when I think of the best NBA players, I had them in my mock in that range. They were a team that went, I believe, they didn't, because at the time, so I had them taking out 40 to Quavian Smith. But Terquavian Smith's stock has gone up. Back when we made this, his stock was down, and people were from what I've talked with his stock, people were acting like he wasn't that good. And with the 47th pick, I had that being, the 37th. My apology, not the 47th. The 37th, I had that being Jalen Wilson. So I could see them going with another KU player right there. Jalen Wilson, I see being an early second round pick. That's definitely a Denver pick to replace Jeff Green. And they had good success with Christian Brown. I just graduated from KU. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Another guy, maybe Braden Podozimski and Andre Jackson, Marcus Sasser, Jaime Jaquez, Julian Strawther. Those are going to be guys available the second round right there. So after winning a championship, I do want to say this. Do you guys think Michael Porter Jr. is expendable? Because I said this, talking with friends. If you replace Michael Porter Jr. with Cam Johnson or Tobias Harris, Cam Johnson is going to be paid like 4 years, $80 million, 4 years, $100. Tobias's next deal is probably going to be the same thing. Wouldn't you guys say you would have similar production to what Michael Porter Jr. gives you on this team? That's a quick question. Is Michael Porter Jr., did we learn that he's expendable in terms that like they could find someone cheaper who can do his job maybe more efficiently? That's just a question. Do you guys think that? And this is a team that their big picture, they have the starting five for at least the next 2 seasons between Murray, Caldwell-Pope, Porter, Gordon. And Jokic is entering the first year of the Supermax. So with this team, okay, with Bruce Brown, potentially, in free agency, I think he's coming back. But we're hoping that besides Christian Brown, taking the next jump, Payne Watson being able to actually play, Zeke Nnaji maybe actually being some front court help, and Vlatko Cancar being, another guy who can actually play. These guys all playing playoff minutes. And they do have 2 second-round picks, and they have Ismail Kamagate, who's coming over this year, supposedly, at least for Summer League, and hopefully he impresses enough that they give him a camp invite. He averaged 9.6 points for like the third year in a row, 75% for the field, 8 rebounds, and like almost 2 blocks. So, again, this is a team that They can offer Bruce Brown like a $1 million raise if they try to re-sign him, but they can go out and get him in free agency. And now that they have, a couple second round picks, this team is definitely not going to bring back, they're going to try to go cheap in terms of like the back of the bench, like trying to develop talent. And besides Bruce Brown being a main priority, like he led all reserves in total points during the playoffs, and Denver was plus 9.8 per 100 possessions when he was on the floor, and per cleaning the glass, Denver was plus 50.9 in the playoffs and averaged 146.3 points per 100 possessions when Brown played with Murray, Porter, Gordon, and Jokic. So Brown is projected, he's 6.8 is what his option is. He's supposed to be gonna get $15 million at, I've heard 12.8, but 15 is what ESPN's saying. And they can give him the non-bird, and the max contract they can offer the guard is 7.8. So for him to receive a greater payday, he would need to sacrifice financially for one season, then become a free agent next year, and then they would be able to sign him to a contract starting at 13.4. And he's kind of said that he'd do that. Now, we've heard that Murray is now eligible to sign a new contract after 3 years removed from signing that 5-year deal, rookie max. So they'll probably take care of that. I mean, in the conference finals, he had his second career playoffs, averaging 30 points on 50, 40, 90 splits. He also did that against the Jazz in 2020. Murray and Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant's done it 3 times, are the only players to ever do that in the playoffs in multiple series. And he scored 20 plus fourth quarter points in the playoffs 4 times. And the only other player to do that, was Iverson and Jordan in terms of like fourth quarter 20 plus games. So basically they need a backup point guard. We're assuming Bruce Brown stays, but if Bruce Brown leaves, they're probably going to have to go out and get themselves another freaky glue guy like that. But I think backup point guard's the biggest thing, even though Bruce Brown serves at that. But they need some front court depth, okay? Not just a body. And you're going to think they're going to be a discount destination for glory hunters now. So you think guys who might have taken a bit more money who are later in like Harrison Barnes could be like the Jeff Green replacement, and he'd probably take less money if you believe in him, okay? Another guy who could help you out like center wise, I don't think Naz Reid or Christian Wood would be guys who would. Maybe Christian Wood, but I don't think he would help. They would want him. Dylan Brooks could be a guy that might want to go there and rebuild his like value, especially if Bruce Brown leaves. Now another guy I think they could look at point guard wise, and this is a very weak point guard money market. Kelly Oubre is another guy that they could look at. And I think in terms of a backup point guard, it's very bleak. And Trey Jones, he's an underrated point guard who, similar to his brother Tyus Jones, doesn't turn the ball over really ever. And he can provide, a little bit of scoring off the dribble. Averaged 13 points, 3.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists on 46% from the field, but shot 28.5% from 3. He's a defense pass first guy. Matisse Thybulle, Kobe White would be a guy who could probably give him help, but he wants to be a starter, so that could, maybe he doesn't, but that deep range he has from 3-point quickness, I mean, he's not the most consistent guy, but he did shoot 37%. Ayo Dosunmu is another guy that they could look at. Those are guys I think that they should be interested, unless they want to bring in Pat Bev, the 3-and-D man. I think those are the kind of guys. And then center's a little bit more difficult. I don't think they're bringing back Thomas Bryant. Mason Plumlee would be a nice little story to bring him back, TBH. But I think they would want to upgrade Thomas Bryant, and I think Mason Plumlee might be that guy. Because, again, the center market's another market that's kind of weak, and I think if they wanted to upgrade center, they would have to trade for one instead of free agent. Because, like, Thomas Bryant can block some shots. He averaged 9.8 points this year, 5.7 rebounds, 62.3% from the field, and 44% from 3. And they didn't play him in the playoffs ever. Not that they needed to, but, like, just saying you would want somebody that could actually go out there and give Jokic a break once in a while. But that's going to be basically the video for us today. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Was there anything else you guys would have wanted to hear? Let me know.